So we're gonna do this cheesecake. This cheesecake is amazing. So we're starting off with the crust of the cheesecake, and we're using pecans. You can use walnuts, you can use almonds. I don't know how sunflower seeds would taste. I really don't know if you can do nuts. I've never tasted with sunflower seeds, but this is what gives it that that almost like graham cracker crust that cheesecakes have. So start off with your pecans, and this is oat flour. It's just oats that have been ground up. Just not quick oats. I use old-fashioned oats that you just grind up.
Can you use steel cut with that one?
You can't use steel cut with this unless you have like a coffee grinder. You could grind them up in a coffee grinder. But I just did this in a blender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you want to put your cardamom and coriander. I love that blend together. I need a spoon and a spatula. I love that blend together. I try not to use a lot of cinnamon. Cinnamon is okay, but it tends to spike some people's blood sugar. It tends to do that. It also is a stimulant. So I like to keep my temper down. So I try not to use a lot of cinnamon. So I'm doing the dry ingredients first. So it just depends, you know. Cinnamon affects different people different ways. It just doesn't affect me really well. So, and this is a food processor, it's a Cuisinart, but you can find a Black & Decker. You can find one at Walmart, it's like $40. Okay, so I like to grind it up fine first, and then I have my coconut oil. Coconut oil is good brain food. It's really good for people that have dementia. Give them 2 tablespoons a day. You can do them in a smoothie. They've done tests that it has improved their memory. Also, coconut oil is good outwardly as well. You can use it as a lotion in your hair. It also, you could do oil pulling. It brightens your teeth. You have to hold it in your mouth for 20 minutes, and it brightens your teeth. It also strengthens your gums as well.
The same that you,
Coconut
that you
oil.
cook with?
Coconut oil. Coconut oil, yeah.
That?
Yes.
You put that in your mouth?
You can. You have to turn it into a liquid.
Oh, heat it?
Yeah, heat it a little bit.
Wow.
And just hold it in your mouth?
And just hold it in your mouth for 20 minutes. Yeah, it's a little gross at first, but it works.
And it whitens your teeth?
It whitens your teeth.
Once you put it in your mouth, it's gonna warm up anyway.
It definitely warms up.
And
Yeah.
sometimes just having the kitchen, it melts. I
Yeah.
mean,
Once it gets to
Exactly.
heat, it goes liquid.
Exactly.
liquid in it.
This is just a pinch of salt. It's about 1/8, just to balance the sweet. And I'm using dates. These are Majul dates. These are my favorite. You can use any other dates, but Majul dates are softer, and I just like them.
Spell what?
Majul, MEDJOOL, Majul.
Expensive, huh?
They are expensive, but you can find them at, if you want to, you can find them at Fiesta for $5 for a pound. In the other stores, they're expensive. If you want to buy organic, they're about $8 a pound. But I'm not all organic. If you can't afford organic, I want you to eat plant-based. So if you have to go to Fiesta and buy it for $5, go ahead, right ahead. You can buy them cheaper. They don't have sugar in them. They just dry dates.
I buy mine at Costco. Some people
Right.
buy it for about $7.
Okay, cool. You want to let this go for a while so it incorporates all the dates.
And you put the cardamom in there already?
I put the cardamom and the coriander in
Let's
there.
see what it looks
The
like.
lemon juice.
The coriander, what was that? What was
Cardamom and coriander is the seed of the cilantro.
Oh.
That's what coriander is. It's the seed of the cilantro. Cardamom is a root as well, and it has a kind of a menthol smell.
I've seen it, and there's a spice, right?
That's a
Beside the
spice.
one.
That's a spice.
And where do I find the coriander?
At any spice, you can find it at Central Market in the spice section. Any of the spice section, you can find coriander, and they use coriander in a lot of Indian food. It's a real mild, kind of sweet. But it's the seed of the cilantro. That's what it is. He asked me if I have a garden, but I do sprout, and we'll do a sprouting class. Sprouting is next to gardening. It's real simple. You can sprout right into your kitchen. It's great. So this is a spring form pan. You can find this at Walmart, Target. I buy mine from TJ Maxx. It tends to be cheaper. And I think this is a 10-inch, if I'm not mistaken. So you want to take your mixture, your crust, and you want to just put it all in here, and you want to press it down. And what I like to do with this, after I finish, I like to stick it into the freezer so it'll harden a little bit, but you don't have to do that. But I like to do that because in the refrigerator or the freezer, the coconut oil tends to harden a little bit, and it almost looks like it's baked. So that was that. So we're gonna go on to the filling. Any questions?
Can you hold the pan?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you can eat that like it is.
You can make a bar out of this. You can eat it. It's good right off the
Okay,
tin.
sweet potato bars.
So here goes the filling. And this is a fusion, so I use a sweet potato that has been baked. So this is 2 cups of baked sweet potatoes. And this is carrot juice. Fresh carrot juice that I squeezed this morning. That's what gives it that orange, that kind of orange color. Oh, I'm gonna put the cashews in first. Just put the cashews in, so it will. Cashews makes it creamy. I've never tried it with any other nuts, so maybe you could try it with almonds. But this is soul food, so wrong one. This is soul food, so you want it a little, and you do this once a year. You don't eat this every day. So now we have our sweet potatoes. And you want to save the coconut oil for last because it starts, the coconut oil thickens it.
Did you peel your sweet potato?
Oh yes, they're peeled.
Oh,
I think they're a little brown because they oxidize a little bit because we did them this morning. But yeah, these are peeled sweet potatoes. And this is a cup of maple syrup. You can use honey. I've used honey in this recipe before. It tastes just the same. It's still good. And I like to do in stages. I like to blend it in stages so it doesn't get, doesn't burn out the machine. So I put a little bit and then I blend. And if you have a regular blender, it'll be kind of difficult because this is a really thick mixture. This is fresh ginger. This is lecithin. Now, you don't have to put the lecithin in it. You could buy this from Ann's. I think this Ann sells it. I ordered mine. The lecithin makes it creamy. And this is soy lecithin, but you could buy sunflower seed lecithin. It just makes it creamy. It emulsifies it.
You said soy or sunflower?
Soy or sunflower. Mm-hmm.
I think they use lecithin in natural soap too, don't they?
Hmm?
They use that in soap too, don't they?
They do. They do use it in soap. Yeah. It comes from plants. Yeah. This is cardamom and coriander. I call them sisters because I use them a lot. And I have my lemon juice. And my salt to balance it out. And then my coconut oil. Yeah, it's been sitting for a while and it really needs to be softer than this, but because we're in a class, we have to just pretend. But it needs to be melted.
Okay.
Yeah, this needs to be melted. And you could just place this in warm water, the bowl in warm water, to make it solidified. Y'all cutting the cheesecake?
Well, do you wanna keep it whole? So
Yeah, keep it whole and just make it small slices. Now the recipe does have a candied pecan topping. It's real simple. You just mix that together. You can put that in the oven. I don't like to put nuts in the oven because it raises the oil content. That's why I only eat raw nuts. I don't do roasted nuts. It's better on digestion because nuts are hard to digest anyway. So when you heat them or you roast them in the oven at high temperatures, it tends to make them harder to digest. So eating, you know how people sit down and eat a can of nuts? It's really not good for your digestion. And it also adds pounds to you. So I do them in the dehydrator, but you can possibly do them on the top of the stove a little bit, and it won't be as high heat. You can do it a little bit to make the candied topping. Okay, so when it's all nice and creamy, you want to now put it in your pan and you want to stick it in the freezer overnight. Or you can stick it in the, you want to stick it in the freezer for a couple of hours, or you want to stick it in the refrigerator overnight. I like to stick it in the freezer because this cheesecake, you can't let it just kind of set out like, you put it on the table because it will melt. It will just turn to liquid. So you want to serve it quickly and put it back in the refrigerator. It cannot set out on the cupboard or on the table. Like, you're serving dinner and stuff like that because it will start to melt.
I can see
Yeah.
people be like, what are y'all eating?
And you see what it looks like? You just pour it in the pan like that. And what I like to do is,
Said like that.
huh? You know what? You can't eat it like this. I've had people that eat it like a pudding. Yeah, you can. You can eat it just like this,
Like a dessert.
just like a dessert. You could crumble some nuts over it, or you could just put some of the topping and do like a parfait. You could do that as well. You could do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want. Whatever you want to do. So, what I like to do to get some of the bubbles out, you need a kind of hard counter. And then you want to stick it in the freezer, and that's it. You're done. And no sugar. It was only God's candy. I call dates God's candy. Yeah. The maple syrup tends to be a little sweet, yeah. But it's not, it's a little processed, but all they do is pull it from the tree and they boil it. That's what maple syrup is.